Hello everyone. So today's topic is about quartiles, deciles, and percentiles, group data. So this is the second part of our discussion about quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. Yung first part is about introduction and ungrouped data. So if you haven't watched that part yet, punta kayo sa description ng YouTube video na to at panoorin nyo muna. Alright? So before you proceed there, watch this before you proceed to this video, watch that part first. Otherwise, let's now continue here. Okay? So the overall objective natin dito is to find given quartile, given decile, and or a given percentile sa isang group data. How would you know if the data is grouped or not? It's simple. If may nakita kang ganito, you have class intervals, basically a column that lists all of the groups of numbers. Tapos, each of the class interval, meron siyang frequency. So basically, if you have class intervals or basically a list of groups of numbers, tapos meron kang frequency dito, automatic group data na yan. Malalaman mo naman kung ungroup siya even only if nakalista lang siya ng ganito. Kita nyo tong ganito? Kita nyo to? Like 14, 16, 17, 10, 12, and so on and so forth. Ito, they're just listed. Hindi sila magkagrupo. So ito ang tinatawag natin na ungrouped data. So let's go back. Itong table na to ay galing sa YouTube video na ginawa ko noon, which is finding mean, median, and mode of a group data. Alright? So that means itong table na to, okay, it started from having a class interval and frequency. Okay? Then merong karugtong na class median, column ng frequency times the class median, and last but not the least, the cumulative frequency. Okay? So, if you're asking me, paano ko nakuha si class median, which is ito, si frequency times the class median at saka si cumulative frequency, I think I suggest you should go back to this YouTube video. Okay? Meron ng link dito or punta ka lang kayo sa description ng YouTube video na to, panoorin nyo to. Okay? Ang title nun kasi Finding Mean, Median, and Mode of a Group Data. Alright? So, dun ko nakuha yung class median, frequency times sa class median, at saka si cumulative frequency. Alright? At saka guys, basic to actually, because without learning this one, you cannot proceed to quartiles, deciles, and percentiles kasi mahihirapan kayo. Okay? So dito, if you don't know how to get the class median, F times the class median, and cumulative frequency, panoorin nyo yan. Okay? Although, to be honest, we don't need class median and frequency times the class median dito. All we need is only the cumulative frequency, class intervals, and frequency lang. Though, again, for more information, mas maganda na kung alam nyo kung paano makuha si class median and others. Alright? And below it, on this left part here, meron tayong red colored na 27.54, which is the mean of this table. Ito, 28.79, which is median ng itong table na to. And last but not the least, 31.5, yun yung mode ng table na to. So, if you want to learn more on how I get the mean, median, and mode, please watch the YouTube video. So, now let's go to the point. How are we going to find the first quartile, the second quartile, the 8th decile, and the 80th percentile? So, we will use this formula. So, meron tayong tatlo kasi meron tayong quartile, decile, and percentile. Pero, all of them are exactly the same. Okay, let's start first with the quartile. Meron tayong LO, or basically lower boundary ng isang quartile class. And then here, meron tayong KN all over 4. Tapos, CF before the quartile class. CF, ibig sabihin nun, cumulative frequency. So cumulative frequency before the quartile class. Then itong si F, frequency ng isang quartile class. And itong si I, class width yan. And si K, since kasi quartile siya, so dapat 1, 2, and 3 lang ang magagamit mo rito. Okay? Kasi you're only here to find the first quartile, the second quartile, and the third quartile. Okay? So I will explain in detail kung paano mo ito makukuha, itong mga value na to. Especially when it comes to getting the cumulative frequency before the given quartile class. By the way, itong si N, number of sample data or total number of given data to. Okay? Total number of given data. All right? So yun, that's it. Next naman dito si decile, mapapansin mo meron din siyang lower boundary, may Kn, may CF before, may frequency at saka Ci. Ang pinakakaiba nga lang is una yung denominator ng Kn which is 10, tsaka yung values ng K. Okay? So bakit kaya naging 10? Well, because itong si decile, siya nag-divide ng distribution into 10 equal parts. While si quartile, siya naman, it divides the distribution into 4 equal parts. That is why yung denominator gamit kay Kn para kay quartile ay 4 and kay decile ay 10. E paano naman kapag kay percentile? E di 100 ang gagamitin. And same thing, meron kang LO, CF before, frequency, I, and of course, yung sarili niyang K values. Okay? So, if you want to know more in detail about what I call this one, about the, kumbaga, paano makuha si CF before, alam mo yun, kumbaga parang, you want to know more information kung paano mo siya makuha, I suggest na panoorin mo yung YouTube video na to. Itong pinilugan ko. Panoorin nyo to. Bakit? Kasi si median, median have almost the same formula as the first quartile, almost the same formula sila ng quartile, decile, and percentile. So, the way how I got the median in this group data is almost the same how I got the quartile, decile, and percentile. Okay? So, I suggest panoorin nyo yun if ever. Okay? But if not, you can just listen to this discussion. Alright? So now, let's find our first problem. First answer. Let's find the answer for our first problem. And that is finding our first quartile. How are we going to get the first quartile? Okay? First, get the formula. Anong formula gagamitin natin dito? So since we since we have a quartile na given, burin ko lang yung mga unnecessary writing. So going back, since we have quartile as our given problem, therefore yan ang Therefore yan ang gagamitin nating formula. So ito yan. Okay? So we will use this one. So ngayon, since we're looking for the first quartile, kumbaga you're looking for the Q1, then automatically yung K mo dito dapat 1 na rin. Okay? So you will see that naman kapag may nakita ka dito na subscript ng number sa baba. So since dito nakalagay 1, so that means your K will be 1. So Q1 is equal to the lower boundary of the first quartile class plus quantity 1 times n all over 4 minus the cumulative frequency before the first quartile class all over the frequency of the first quartile class times I. Ayan. So, now that we know the formula that we're going to use, ngayon we will find the class for the first quartile. Okay? That, sorry. That's the same thing kasi dito sa paghanap ng median. Dito kasi, sa paghanap ng median, hanap ka ng specific na class dito. Especially paghanap ka ng mode dito. If you're going to find the mode, you're going to find which class interval is a modal class or mode class, in other words. Okay? So, ganun din dito sa first quartile, we need to know which one of these class intervals, okay, which one of the class intervals is the first quartile class. Ito ba, ito ba, ito ba, ito ba, or other given groups. So, paano yun? So, una, ang gagawin lang natin is we will get the tawag nito, the fraction, ito, 1 times n all over 4 dito. Okay? 1 times n all over 4. Okay? Kunin natin yan. So, bura ko lang to. Ha? So, 1 times n. Ano yung n natin? Diba sabi ko yung n, yun yung total number of given data. What is our total number of given data kung ganun? So, malalaman mo yan kapag meron kang summation of frequency. Okay? Kumbaga, if you have a frequency column and you add all of the frequencies here, which results to 75, therefore your n is 75. Okay? So siya yun. So 1 times 75 all over 4. Ngayon, kunin natin yung value nito. Okay? So let's get our calculator. So na yun, we will have exactly 18.75. Pangit yung sulat ko. Yan. 18.75. Okay? So, ngayon, nakuha natin si 18.75. So, anong gagawin natin? Ngayon, punta kayo dito sa cumulative frequency. Okay, dito tayo sa column na to. Okay? Ngayon, pili ka ng dalawang number. Magkadikit sila dapat magkadikit sila. Pick two numbers na magkadikit sila na kung saan dun mo makikita si 18.75 in between them. Kumbaga kasi yung dalawang numbers na magkadikit, they act as a range. Kunwari ito, diba 10, 10 and 22. So kunwari, this is 10 to 22. O kaya pinili mo si 22 to 20, 22 to 33. So magiging 22 to 33. Nagets niyo ako? Kumbaga parang pick two numbers that act as a range. Gets niyo? Na magkadikit sila dapat pick two numbers na magkadikit sila and act as a range. Okay? And piliin mo na in between them, meron siyang 18.75. Okay? So for me, pipiliin ko si 10 at saka si 22. Okay, pipiliin ko to. 10 at saka si 22. Bakit? Kung kukunin mo yung range nito, from 10 to 22, pwede dyan si 11, 10.55, pwede dyan si 17. Basta, from 10 to 22 lang siya. So that means pwede dito si 18.75. Pwede siya dito. So ngayon, nakuha natin yung dalawang numbers that act as a range in between, that act as a range na kung saan pwede natin malocate dyan si 18.75 in between them. So what to do? The next thing here is piliin natin yung largest value. Which one is the largest? 10 or 22? So si 22 piliin natin. Okay, si 22. Then after that, i-locate natin kung anong class interval niya. Since si 22, nasa class interval siya ng 16 to 21, therefore, ito na yung magiging first quartile class. Yan na yun. 16 to 21 is your first quartile class. O, diba? So that's it. We're done. We already know how to locate the class interval. Now, ano na sunod? Ang sunod nun is hanapin na natin yung mga yung mga ibang variable na kailangan nating hanapin. Which are, number 1, si lower boundary of the first quartile. So paano kaya kunin natin yung lower boundary ng first quartile? So una, go to the class ng first quartile. Ito yun, di ba? 16 to 21. Okay? 16 to 21, yun yung boundary. Yun yung class ng first quartile. Okay? So to get the lower boundary, all you need to do is subtract its lower class limit by 0.5. Ulitin ko subtract its lower class limit by 0.5. So paano yun? So basically, if you know what I mean by lower class limits, basically ito yun. Starting point ng class interval. Okay? So any class intervals, basta starting sila, like sa starting talaga mismo ng interval, ang tawag mo sa kanila ay lower class limits. Okay? Then, on the other hand, yung pinakadulong number, kada class interval, yun tinatawag natin na upper class limit. So ulitin ko yung mga numbers nagsisimula sa kada class interval, lower class limits ang tawag natin sa kanila. Pero kapag nasa dulo na sila, katulad dito, 15, 21, 27, nasa upper class limits. Okay? So yun lang, for more information. So yun. Ngayon, once again, kunin natin yung lower class limit ng first quartile. So ito yun, di ba? 16. So lower class limit ng first quartile ay 16. Ngayon, ang gagawin natin is we will subtract 16 by 0.5. 16 minus 0.5, this is 15.5. So ito yung maging sagot natin dito. 15.5. Di ba? Next. Ngayon, ang susunod natin gagawin is we need to find the CF before the first quartile or cumulative frequency before the first quartile. So punta tayo dito sa column na to. Cumulative frequency. Okay, dito sa column na to. So anong pinili natin na cumulative frequency para kay quartile? Diba si 22, right? Diba si 22? Okay? So yan yung CF para kay Q1 or first quartile. Ngayon, what comes before Q1? What comes before 22 pala? What comes before 22? So it's 10, di ba? It's 10. So itong si 10 na to, pura ko lang to. Itong si 10 na to, this is actually the CF before the first quartile. Ibig sabihin, ano yung cumulative frequency bago yung cumulative frequency ng first quartile? So since we have 22, di ba? And before 22, we have 10. So therefore, ang sagot natin ay 10. So this is it. CF before Q1. So this is 10. Ayan. Next, kunin natin yung F or frequency ng first quartile. So paano kaya yun? So, madali lang. Diba ito yung class interval ng first quartile? Ngayon, tingnan mo yung frequency niya. Yung frequency niya ay si 12. So therefore, ang sagot mo rito ay 12. That's it. And last but not the least, si I. Si I basically class width. Basically, total number in a class interval. Kumbaga, how many numbers are there in a class interval? So kunwari, ito, si 16 to 21. Okay, this class interval, ilang numbers kaya meron dito? Meron tayong 16, di ba? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So meaning there are 6 numbers in this class interval. There are 6 numbers in this class interval. Okay? So yan yung I mo. Your I is 6. Tapos na. By the way, eto, bigyan ko kayo ng extra information sa class width. Kung dito si 16 to 21, there are a total of 6 numbers, then ganun din dito. say 10 to 15, 22 to 27, 20 to 33, and other class intervals, dapat yung class width nila ay 6 din. Okay? So meaning, all of the class intervals all of the class intervals should have a class width of 6. Okay? Another way for you to find the class width is subtract mo lang yung lower class limit niya by its previous lower class limit. So 16 minus 10 is equal to 6. O, di ba? Or subtract its upper class limit by its previous upper class limit. So 21 minus 15, that is 6. O, di ba? So yun, that's how you get the class width. So yeah, bottom line, for you to get the class width, you can either count how many numbers present in a certain class interval, or you can just subtract its lower class limit by its previous lower class limit, or you can just use its upper class limit and subtract it by its previous upper class limit. So nasa sayo na yun kung paano mo siya gawin. Alright? So, yeah. Bottom line, it is 6. Okay? So we can now substitute the value here. So here we have 15.5 plus ano to? 1 point tuloy. Wait, ayusin ko na lang to. 1 times 75 is 75. So I can just rewrite 75 all over 4 minus the cumulative frequency before Q1, which is 10, all over the frequency of a Q1, which is 12. Then times 6. So now we can use the calculator here. So ang value makukuha natin dito ay exactly 19.875. Or we can approximate this one into 2 decimal places, maging 19.88. Ayan na siya. So yan yung maging sagot natin sa first quartile. Okay? So now, let's try to find the second quartile. So since we're looking for the second quartile, so gagamit tayo ng ganitong formula ulit na pang quartile, which is this one. Okay? This one pa rin tayo. And since, kung mapapansin mo, yung subscript niya ay C2, therefore, yung K natin ay C2. So second quartile is equal to the lower boundary of a second quartile plus quantity 2 times n all over 4 minus cumulative frequency before the second quartile all over the frequency of the second quartile times I. By the way, okay, kung ayun yun ng formula, kung gusto mo direct ng sagot nito, I can clearly tell now the answer. Alam ko ng sagot nito? The answer for the second quartile is approximately 28.79. Bakit kaya? Paano ko nalaman yun? Bakit kaya? Recall natin sa discussion natin noon, yung first part mismo, recall that si median is just the same as the second quartile and is also the same as the fifth decile, and it is also the same as the 50th percentile. So median, second quartile, fifth decile, and 50th percentile are actually equal to each other. So dito, sa median, we have 28.79. So that means your second quartile is 28.79 na rin. Pero if you want to prove that they are equal, then sure, why not? Okay, why not naman? Pwede naman. Okay? So try natin kaya i-prove. Okay, since kasi we already write the formula here, so why not let's, let's keep on moving on, kumbaga. Okay, so first, before anything else, anong gagawin? Find the class muna. So kanina, nahanap natin si first quartile class, di ba? Excuse me. Which is 16 to 21. Ngayon, how about naman kapag second quartile? How will you find the second quartile? Okay. So which one of these class intervals is pang second quartile? So una, kunin mo yung yung fraction nito, which is 2 times n all over 4, which is basically the same as 2 times 75 all over 4. So let's get our calculator, and the value for this one, that would be 37.5. Ayan. So it's 37.5. So ano ulit gagawin next? Ngayon, punta kayo sa cumulative frequency. Ibura ko lang to ha. Let me just erase this one. Okay? So punta kayo sa cumulative frequency column. Now, you're going to pick two numbers na magkadikit sila and they act as a range na kung saan in between them, dun mo malolocate si 37.5. Ulitin ko ha. Pick two numbers na magkadikit sila and they act as a range na kung saan dun mo malolocate si 37.5. So, I will pick 54 and 33. So, 33 to 54. So, dito pwede si 31, pwede si 33.13, pwede dito si 34, pwede dito si 36, pwede dito si 40, pwede dyan si 50.99, and so on and so forth. So, that means dito, pwede dito si si 37.5. Overall, nasa range siya in between 33 to 54. So, anong sunod afterwards? So, ang sunod is get the largest value. So, syempre, si 54 ang malaki. Ngayon, last but not the least, locate its class interval. Anong class interval ni 54 sa cumulative frequency? So, that would be 28 to 33. So, therefore, ito yung second quartile mo. The class of the second quartile. Okay? Yun na yun. So, ibilog ko lang to ha. Ayan. That's it. So now we can now find the lower boundary of the second quartile. So punta ka ulit sa class interval. So we have 28 to 33. So una rin gagawin is we will get the lower class limit, which is 28. So 28, tapos i-subtract mo ng 0.5. So 28 minus 0.5, that would be 27.5. Ayun. So that is now your lower boundary of second quartile. Okay? Next, kunin natin yung CF. Okay? CF before. So dito, we will get CF before the second quartile. CF before the second quartile. So, di ba ito yung CF ni second quartile? Now, what comes before 54? Di ba si 33? So, itong si 33, siya yung CF before second quartile. Okay? So, 33. Then, kunin natin yung frequency ng second quartile, which is ito yon. So, dito, punta ulit tayo dito sa class interval. So, since si class interval 20 to 33 has a frequency of 21, therefore, ang sagot natin dito ay 21. Okay? And last but not the least, si I, alam na natin to kanina na kung ano yung class width ng isang class interval, ganun din sa iba. So therefore, this is 6. Okay? Now, let's substitute. So, isulat ko dito. So, second quartile is equal to lower boundary of a second quartile, so 27.5 plus 2 times n, which is isolve ko na lang dito. 2 times 75 all over 4 minus CF before Q2, which is 33, all over the frequency of the second quartile, which is 21. Okay? Times 6. There you go. So now let's get our value for the second quartile. So with the use of calculator, ang sagot natin dito ay approximately 28.79. Yan yung sagot natin dito. Ayusin ko lang si number 8 ha. So 28.79. Yan. That's it. So let's tingnan natin if median and the second quartile are the same. Yep, they are the same. 28.79 approximately. So ganun din siya dito. 28.79 din. O, diba? So that's it. Now let's find the 8th decile. Alright, so kunin natin si 8th decile. So iba ng formula gagamitin natin dito. So since we're talking about 8th decile, and decile pa lang, alam na agad kung ano nang gagamitin natin dito. So we will use this formula. Ito gagamitin natin. So copy, tapos paste natin siya dito. Ayan. Since yung subscript ng letter D is 8, kung mapapansin, it's actually 8. So that means your K value here is 8. So D8 or 8 decile is equal to the lower boundary of the 8 decile class plus 8 times 10 all over 10 minus CF. This is supposed to be C, not E. Forgive me. So this is CF before 8 decile all over the frequency of the 8 decile class times I. Ayan, times I. Alright? So, ano ulit gagawin? We will find the class for the 8 decile. Okay, hanapin natin class ng 8 decile. And paano ulit yun? We will get the fraction muna, which is ito yun. So 8 times n all over 10. So here we have 8 times 75 all over 10. So what would be our answer here? 8 times 75 all over 10. So that would be exactly 60. Ayun. So that's it. Now, anong gagawin natin? We will go back to the cumulative frequency. Okay? Ibura natin yung mga unnecessary writings dito. Okay? Punta tayo sa cumulative frequency column. Now, we will get, ano ulit? Two numbers na magkadikit that act as a range na kung saan dun mo manolocate si 60 in between them. So, that would be 54 and 70. Okay? 54 to 70. So, dito pwede si 55, 56, 56.86, and so on and so forth. So, dito pwede dito si 60 since kasi nasa range siya ng 54 to 77. So, with that being said, we can now use this to cumulative frequency. To cumulative frequencies. Okay? Ngayon, which one of the number is the largest? 70 or 54? So 70, di ba? 70. So therefore, ang gagawin natin dito is we will now locate its class interval. So that would be 34 to 39. So this is the 8 decile class. So si 34 to 39, that is the 8 decile class. Wait lang ha, 54 to 70 ha, mali ako, 54 to 70. Baka sa isip nyo 77 sinulat ko rito, 70 dito ha. Anyways, yeah. 8 decile is in 34 to 39 class interval. So now what we're going to do is we will now find the other variables. Let's start with getting the lower boundary of the 8 decile. So dito, we have 34 to 39. Let's now subtract 34 by 0.5 to get our lower boundary. So makukuha natin dito ay 33.5. Okay? Next, kunin natin si CF before 8 decile or cumulative frequency before the 8 decile. Pangit sulat ko, sensya na. Wait lang ayusin ko lang to. Okay, CF before the 8 decile. So this one, we have 70 as the CF or cumulative frequency ng D8 or 8 decile. So what comes before 70? We have 54. So yun yung sagot natin dito, 54. Then, last but not the least, yung frequency ng 8 decile. So dito, they have 16 only. So 16 na yung maging sagot natin. 16. O, di ba? And yung I, alam nyo na eh. That would be 6. I already explained it earlier kung bakit. So now let's substitute. So here, lower boundary, we have 33.5 plus, ito, 8 times 75 all over 10, or you can just substitute as 60 kung gusto nyo. 60 or 8 times 7 all over 10, they're just the same. Okay? Ano yung pinili ko ng 60 kasi mas simplified siya. Okay, the next CF, which is C, 54, all over yung frequency niya, which is 60. 10 times 6. Okay? Now, let's get our calculator to get the answer for this one. So, this one, ang maging sagot natin dito ay 35.75. And that is our answer for the 8 decile. See? That's it lang naman. It's easy. Now let's try to find the last problem, which is the 80th percentile. All right, so here we go. Dito, I think I do not need to write the solution here because I know the answer for the 80th percentile. You know what's the answer? The answer for this one is 35.75. Bakit kaya? So, let me have a recall. First decile is the same as the 10th percentile. Second decile is the same as the 20th percentile. Third decile is equal to the 30th percentile. You see the pattern here? Kung ano yung hinahanap sa decile, yun yung 10th place niya sa percentile. And 10th place tuloy. Yun yung multiple ng 10 niya. Kunwari, di ba, decile 1. So dito, percentile 10. Okay, 10 siya. 2, 20. 3, 30. Nakikita mo yung pattern niya. So that means if I have 4th decile, I will have 40th percentile as its own partner. So therefore, if I have 8th decile, that means I have 80th percentile. Ito and ito. So that means both of them are the same. But, yun nga, kung gusto mo ng solution just to prove you're correct, then there's no problem. Let's try that, okay? Since we're looking for the percentile, that means we're using the percentile formula. Ito yun. Okay? So, which is this one. Let me just copy. Then let me just paste this one. I'm gonna be quick about this one because I think I already told you the steps. So now, I'm just gonna explain it once again, but in a brief way. Since kasi ah parang para short time ang pagka-explain ko rito, and I think nagegets yun na. Since we're looking for the 80th percentile, ibig sabihin nun, yung value ng k natin magiging 80. So P80 is equal to the lower boundary of the 80th percentile plus k natin magiging 80 times n all over 100 minus CF na nga, CF before the 80th percentile all over the frequency of the 80th percentile times I, which is basically 6. Pero I think mamaya na substitute natin. So una, we need to find the class. So paano ulit yun? Kunin natin yung yung fraction, which is ito yun, di ba? So that would be 80 times n all over 100. Itong si n, remember this is 75. So 80 times 75 all over 100. Now, let's get the value for this one with the use of calculator. This would be 60. Ayan. So, the same lang sila ng decile kung naalala niyo yung solution natin kanina. So, 60. So, let's go here. Sige nga. So, dito, punta tayo sa cumulative frequency column and let's find two magkadikit na number na gawin natin silang range na kung saan in between them, makukuha natin si 60. So ito ay 54 to 70. 54 to 70. Kasi dito, we can locate 60 here. And anong gagawin natin? We get the largest value, which is 70. Then locate its class interval. So that would be 34 to 39. So therefore, 80th percentile is 34 to 39 class interval. So magkapares na sila ng 8 decile. 8 decile and 80th percentile are the same, especially the fact na magkapares sila ng class interval. So now let's prove it with solutions. Okay? So dahil dyan, we can now find the lower boundary. Lower boundary ng 80th percentile. So since kasi we have 34 as the lower limit, lower class limit, we will subtract it by 0.5. So that would be 33.5. Next, CF before the 80th percentile. So dito, where was I? Yeah, so dito, since C70 ang pinili natin as a CF para kay 80th percentile, now what comes before 70? Diba si 54? So that would be our CF before P80. So this is 54. Now yung frequency niya, frequency of 80th percentile, so tingnan nyo yung katabi niya. So sa class interval ng 34 to 39, we have 16. So therefore, that is 16 as our answer. And last but not the least, si I, that would be just 6. Now we can substitute. We can now substitute here. So lower class boundary, so that would be 35.5 plus ito 80 times n all over 100 or 80 times 75 all over 100 or 60 na lang. Mas shorter, the better. I mean, the shorter, the better. So 60 na lang. 60 minus CF before P80, so that would be 54, all over frequency ng P80, 16, times 6. So using your calculator here, ano maging sagot natin dito? So let me check. So this is exactly 35.75. So you see, they are just the same as the 80th percentile. O, diba? So at least we prove it that they're the same. Now we can safely conclude that 80th percentile and 8th decile are equal to each other. So that is all on how would you get the uh, given quartile, decile, or percentile sa isang group data. Oh yeah, tawag ito. By the way, I would like to add something. I would like to add something. Dito pala sa ungroup data, di ba kung mapapansin mo, yung value nito, di ba, puro na lang naka-decimal, di ba, 2.22 or 6.75, di ba? Eh what if nung paghanap mo ng kahit anong quartile or decile, kunwari, nung pagkahanap mo dito, okay, with the use of this formula, syempre, kunwari, first quartile mo ay nakalagay dito first. So, anong gagawin ko rito? Eh, di kunin mo lang yung first value, that's it. Okay? Kunwari, first quartile, first value, eh di sagot mo ay 10. Tapos na. Okay? Ganun lang yun. Alright? O kaya kapag kunwari, hala, kunin ko yung second quartile. Tapos yung second quartile pala, ano pala siya? Sixth value. Kunwari lang ha. Yung second quartile pala ay sixth value. Eh di kunin mo yung sixth value. So, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Eh di 17. Diba? Parang ganun lang. Okay? Pero kapag naka-decimal, eh di gawin nyo yung kung ginawa ko nung first part. Which is na-explain ko na kung paano. Diba, ano yun eh, kunwari, 6.75, diba? So magiging ano na to, 6 as 6 place plus yung decimal niya, kopyahin mo, 0.75. Tapos, since si 6.75, located siya between 6 and 7, so magiging quantity 7 minus 6 value. So, yun yung gagawin mo kapag may decimal. Pero kapag ano lang, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, mga ganun lang, eh di pilihin nyo, yun lang naman eh. Alright? So, that's it lang naman. Okay? So anyways, that is all I can say, and I hope you have learned something in this video. So yeah, see you soon.